Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Moss. Welcome to this edition of the Moss HR Minute. I am the co-founder and HR director for Moss HR Consulting, where we help business owners solve people problems, compliance, and operational challenges before they become expensive problems. We're recording from Phoenix, Arizona today. I'm joined by Preslie Deusenbery, who is our Phoenix HR area manager, and she works directly with businesses here in the Valley on leadership, HR strategy, and organizational stability. Today's guest is Jaxson Hodges. He's with LeBaron and Carroll Insurance. Jaxson works with Arizona-based businesses and owners to build clear, custom commercial insurance plans. Everything from general liability and commercial, auto, to tools, property, and workers' comp plans. A lot of owners feel like business insurance is confusing, overpriced, and full of surprises. Jaxson focuses on helping people actually understand what they're buying and why it matters before a claim ever hits. He actually helped us with our insurance, so I can firmly say that that is true. So Jaxson, here is how the Moss HR Minute works. We're going to ask you 5 hard-hitting questions that business owners are dealing with or facing right now. You have 1 minute to answer that question, 1 Moss minute. Preslie and I will have follow-up questions after that initial 1 minute answer. We can dive deeper and go from there.
Sounds great.
Okay. Question number 1. Most owners don't find that their coverage is wrong until something goes wrong. So in 1 Moss minute, can you give us the most common claim scenarios where business owners get blindsided?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think some of the biggest instances, especially nowadays, are cyber type claims. A lot of businesses, they have that online presence, but they don't have any coverage for their cyber. You can get it as an endorsement, or you can get it as a separate policy. Another one that I really like to focus on with people, though, is just making sure that you keep your insurance up to date as far as your earnings and your sales go, because commercial insurance is based directly upon how much sales you have. And if you have a big year, but you haven't updated your insurance, you might get punished for that, whether it's in an audit or a claim when the insurance company comes and finds out, oh, you're doing a lot more sales than you said you were doing. And so in those instances, you want to make sure that you have, 1, you're keeping up to date on your commercial insurance, and 2, you have an agent that is keeping up to date with you, making sure that that's on track.
Love it.
Cool. What should a business owner ask their agent so that they don't get surprised?
Oh, I think you just want to keep tabs. You want to have somebody in your corner that understands the business and understands your business and what you're looking for. And so don't hide anything from your agent, I think, is the biggest thing. And so if you have something that you're like, oh, I wonder what my insurance would think about it, you have to trust your agent to go to them, ask them the question of, hey, we're looking into doing this. What does that look like on the insurance side? A lot of companies, a lot of people get worried that, we're going to wrap them out or tell on them. But in reality, we are your advocates when we go to the insurance carriers, trying to help them understand your business, make you look attractive to those people. And so if you have a question, you absolutely should go to your agent.
Always reach out. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Workers' compensation is a pain point for a lot of business owners, especially, trades, high risk areas. In 1 Moss minute, what actually drives workers' compensation costs up? And then what can owners do to drive it down?
Great question. Safety is one of the most important things when it comes to workers' compensation. There's a thing called an EMOD. Basically, what that is, it's almost like your credit score for your workers' compensation rate. That's the most basic, easy way of putting it. There's a lot that goes into it. But specifically at LeBaron Carroll, my company, we have a program. It's called the Sustainable Safety Culture, which we instill into all of the companies that we help out. And what that does is it builds a safety culture inside of the businesses that we help, that in turn helps their EMOD and brings that up so that the workers' compensation rates go down. Workers' compensation rates, they're standard across everything. And so whatever your class code, whatever your class code is, there is a generalized rate for what that is. However, you can get punished or credited based on what your EMOD is. And the EMOD is basically affected by how well your previous workers' compensation claims have been in the past 5-10 years. So
Awesome. A follow-up question to that is classifications. Every time we go through audits, like the yearly audit that is totally normal for people on their workers' comp, right? Is like you have people who, let's say you have like an AV company that has a warehouse and they have office people. And it's like, well, my warehouse people really don't go on site, but they're in the warehouse, but sometimes they're in the office. Can we class them as office people? How often do you see people are misclassed, and what's the risk of misclassing people?
yeah, so that's one of those instances where you do need to, be honest with your agent, because if you don't, then it will probably come to bite you later.
Yeah.
When it comes to classifying, you want to make sure that if they are only office, that's the office people. But if they do anything out in the field, you want to make sure that that's where they are, because if you're ever audited, if they're ever out in the field, the auditor is going to assign that person the highest rate,
Right.
either way. And so if that comes to it, you're going to have to pay for it.
Anyway,
And so you might as well start it off right. That way you aren't punished later.
love it. So owners they hear general liability and assume that they're covered for everything. Everything is general, right? So in one Moss Minute, can you explain the real difference between general liability, professional liability, the stuff that covers employees, errors and omissions, where people misunderstand it the most?
Yeah, and that's another great question because general liability is, like you said, it's general, but that goes both ways. General is only covering a specific amount of generalized things. And so the biggest thing that people need to realize is general liability is for anything that happens when your customer is either in your shop, depending on that, or you're out in the work field and something happens. Like, for example, if you are working on a roof and your ladder falls down and it hits a car, that would be covered under a general liability policy. But professional liability is for people who have certificates or licenses that are performing, those professional
Like services?
responsibility, like services or even medical professionals, people like that. And it's more of errors that they commit while doing their job. And so the general liability is to cover other people with injuring type mistakes, while professional liability is actually your duty as a certified professional and making those mistakes. So there's a lot of things that do go into it. Again, it's best to talk to your agent, be totally upfront, honest with them, and ask them, what exactly that you would need for your specific duties.
Would errors and omissions fall under professional liability services?
Arizona emissions?
Errors and omissions, like
Yes.
that's professional either.
They're very similar. That basically go hand in hand.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. If a business owner is going to review 3 policies this quarter, we're starting a new year, so Q1, what 3 should they start with?
If they have a commercial auto policy, definitely that one. That is definitely the first one to take a look at. Workers' compensation is another one, just to look at that EMOD, get some credits, things like that. And then cyber, going back to cyber, if they don't have anything for cyber, I'd say it's very important to get that checked out and see if it's a risk that is worth looking at.
Okay. You mentioned the auto. So commercial auto seems to be straightforward, I think, until it's not. So in one Moss Minute, what's the biggest commercial auto risk that owners overlook, especially when employees are driving like their personal vehicles or, taking home vehicles?
Oh yeah, that's so with commercial auto, obviously business vehicles are covered, and it's important to also cover the contents inside with an inland marine policy. But I think a lot of companies overlook is if a employee drives their personal vehicle, but is doing a work-related task. And what that would be covered under is called the hired and non-owned auto liability. And a lot of companies don't have that included either in their general liability or their commercial auto policy. And so if that person gets into an accident while performing a work-related activity, then they may not be covered. And so that is one thing that should absolutely look for on your policy to make sure that that's included. Otherwise, you might get
Dinged.
Non-cover.
Non-covered is well, and so to clear that up, because I think a lot of employers might be driving to work and driving home from work is not you don't need to cover your people for that. Is that correct?
Okay. That's considered personal time.
Okay.
driving to and fro.
But if you're taking your car in the middle of the day to go do a job, if you're a construction guy or maybe like a handyman and you work for a company and they take their car with their tools in it and you go to someone's house and you get in a car accident, that should be covered.
That, yes. And that would be covered under that hired and non-owned. Another example is you're at a work site, you realize, oh, I need more nails. Oh, I need this different kind of screwdriver. Let me just run to Home Depot real quick. And you go to Home Depot, same kind of thing. Accident happens and, yep.
Yeah, got to cover it.
Gotta have that covered.
So what would a good driver policy look like from like an insurance perspective?
As in like the coverage limits and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, you want $1 million liability limits on all those. Anything under that, you're really putting your company and your employees at risk.
Okay.
As far as deductibles go, we always recommend $1,000 deductible on the autos. We usually do not recommend anything like full glass coverage, roadside assistance, any of those extras, because those claims really add up fast in a business. And we find it's more worth it and cost effective in the long run to just do that yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
No, that's great. Your company talks about controlling the narrative with insurance companies to qualify for better rates. In 1 Moss Minute, what does that mean in practice? What do owners need documented and in place to look like a lower risk business?
That is great, because we pride ourselves in that, because essentially when it comes down to it, personal lines, a lot of people, they send out all of their information and they just hope somebody bites, hope somebody grabs onto them and gives them the cheapest rate.
That's like the Simply businesses of the world, like the websites that you go to, and it's like they act as a broker.
Yeah, I think like Zebra or Root.
Yeah.
Those. So we're trying to get that personal lines mindset away from commercial lines business.
Okay.
We want you to come to us, trust us as a trusted insurance advisor that then takes your business, learns everything we can possibly about it, and then we bundle that up, make it look really pretty for the underwriters that are with all the carriers. And so we want to control how the underwriter views each of these people's businesses.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's something that a business owner then could implement quickly that insurers would actually care about and respect?
Yeah. So, clients, the business owners want their business to look as good as possible to other clients, right? They advertise guarantees and different promotions and promises and what they can do. We want to make sure that those same kind of things also is viewed from the carrier standpoint. So a few things that they can do is start implementing safety measures with their employees. Build a culture that focuses on safety, have printouts and handouts in the company that teaches exactly what they should do at workplaces, at job sites, things like that can help them not only show safety for their employees, but maybe the people that they are working around.
Love it. Jaxson, you've done insurance for a while. Tell us about you, how you got into it, why you chose the firm that you're at now.
Yeah. So I started in personal lines insurance. Okay. I did that for a couple of years before I started doing a little bit of commercial. And as I spoke with more business owners and really starting to get into that world, I realized that is where I wanted to be. Love talking with business owners, love learning about businesses, and there's so many different kinds of businesses, the different things that you could do with it. I'm sure you guys obviously know as much about that as I do.
It's fun.
And so recently I made a switch over to LeBaron Carroll, kind of for some of the reasons that I've explained today. Just they have those great programs, lot of resources when it comes to the safety culture. We have a dedicated safety team in the office that will come out to your business. They do OSHA trainings. They are CPR certified, so there's CPR type trainings with everybody. And yeah, when I've been in Arizona now 5.5 years.
Okay.
When I first moved down, I was actually in the mortgage industry. I did mortgages for about 2 years before I made the switch to insurance. It was basically for the same reason. I love talking to people. I love learning about them, then obviously learning about their businesses, and just wanted to get into that world where I could help people and businesses make sure they're covered right, and of course save some money.
I love it. Jaxson, this has been awesome. It's been very helpful. Business insurance is one of those things that owners, you just avoid it, right? It goes to the bottom of the list probably often because it feels confusing, and claims usually force this conversation. So I think making it very approachable is incredible, and you've done that. The cost of being uninsured and misclassified can be brutal. So getting ahead of that is incredible. So thank you very much for joining us and breaking this down so clearly. And if you all want to get in touch with Jaxson and learn more about how he helps business owners get in control of coverage, claims, costs, you can find him at LeBaron and Carroll Insurance. Is there an email that they can reach you at?
Yeah, yep. It's Jaxson, which is spelled Jaxson. I do it real fancy.
Okay.
Jaxson at LeBaronCarroll.com. LeBaronCarroll.com.
Excellent. And if you're a business owner who needs help stabilizing your team, standardizing HR processes, or making your business less owner dependent, visit our website at mossconsulting.com and book some time with our team. We will see you on the next Moss HR Minute.
It's fast, it's fun, it's the